Welcome to Hood Champion Boxing and Sports. In boxing, you find a way to win or you find a way to lose. Also in boxing, sometimes guys find a way to make excuses about their losses. And that's what you got with Teofimo Lopez. So Teofimo Lopez is going to be returning this Saturday night. And the thing about Teofimo Lopez Jr., he's going to be facing a Mexican fighter named Pedro Campos. They're going to be fighting in Las Vegas. The fight's going to be aired on ESPN. But the thing about Teofimo Lopez, right? And let's just get this straight. Teofimo Lopez is a good fighter. A lot of people had Teofimo Lopez as the man at 140. Especially, and it wasn't just after the Lomachenko win. It was before the Lomachenko win. He looked spectacular in fights. But he got in there with Lomachenko, first 7-8 rounds. I'm not sure if it was what Teofimo Lopez Jr. was doing or what Lomachenko wasn't doing. But anyway, those first 7-8 rounds was all Teofimo. Got to give him credit. It doesn't matter what happened. I'm going to go ahead and give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he had the heavier hands. He had his offense and his style is what caused problems for Lomachenko. But Lomachenko, his corner got in his head and said, hey, you got to do something. Lomachenko came back on strong, won a lot of the later rounds. Nevertheless, Teofimo beat Lomachenko, shocked the boxing world. Probably shocked himself too. But he went in there with Kambosos, right? And look, Teofimo Lopez lost that damn fight. Okay? He lost it. He didn't just lose it, he got his butt whipped. But Teofimo Lopez just can't let it go. He just can't let it go, man. And to him and a lot of people, it was a stunning split decision loss to Kambosos, man. And as a result, his record was affected, man. So now he's 16-1 with 12 KOs. So he got some pop. But he decided 140 wasn't for him anymore. He says was killing himself to get down to the weight. And at 147, he's excited for that new chapter. And he went on to talk about that whole thing with Kambosos. And I'm going to tell you right now, Teofimo Lopez still feels that he won that fight. And I would be concerned if I was someone on his team. His dad's not concerned because his dad is the one saying that he won the fight. Let me tell you something. Teofimo Lopez did not beat Kambosos. It wasn't even a close fight, in my opinion. But it's crazy. But Teofimo, he keeps saying that, throughout a fighter's career, they go through a lot of things, and he feels that he let fans down. And he felt that no matter what, though, he felt that he gave them a show, but fans were disappointed because he didn't get the win. And he goes on to say how, nevertheless, when you look at what he's done in his career and what he did in that Kambosos fight, he felt he did enough to win, but he's just blessed to not be dead. So now they're back on this thing about him, how he should have died in the ring that night, and some physician came out and said can't understand how Teofimo was able to get across the finish line that fight and just not die. Okay? So now, and I have to apologize to you. There was obviously something going on with him. I'm not going to hash all that out because I'm sure you guys are up on it. But he keeps, he's holding on to this, I should have died. I almost died. I love boxing so much and I didn't want to let the fans down that I put my life at risk. Let me tell you something, man. He didn't know that all that stuff was going on with him, and I'm not so sure that his life was in danger. But I do believe there was something affecting his breathing, you know what I'm saying? But a physician isn't just going to come out there and make a statement like that. So obviously there was something there, but I'm just not sure it was as life-threatening as, that whole life-threatening spin they're putting on his condition. But then again, you got to take it for what it is. I'm not in the medical field, so I don't want to be unfair. And just because it doesn't pass a sniff test in my world come out there, man, and say something against these guys who are in that world of medicine, who obviously know a lot more than me about his condition. But he's saying that he's back, man. He's looking to take over 147 like he did at 140 and how he did 135 and just become the number one pound-for-pound fighter. And that's what he's looking to do. Now, the thing is, according to Teofimo, he had a lot of ailments that he was dealing with. And with this respiratory issue, that's what it was, a respiratory issue. In addition to that, he's saying he had hand problems, he had elbow problems, and he had migraine issues. And after the fight, he got the hand and elbow stuff corrected. Actually had arthroscopic surgery, taking sumatriptan for his migraines. And he felt that he had to move forward with the Kambosos fight, even though he had all of those conditions, because they had several postponements. If you guys don't remember, they're supposed to fight on Triller, supposed to have J-Lo and Mark Anthony and salsa, bachata, merengue, and all that going on, right? And Teofimo Lopez Sr. was talking real shit about Bob Arum and that low purse bid he put in there, man. Hilarious. But all that fell apart. So he said they had like 7 or 8 postponements during that time. Now, I know there were several. I don't know if it was 7 or 8, but I know there were several postponements for that fight. And he said he just felt like the mandatory challenger, who was Kambosos, was dictating his career, and he just wanted to get it over with. He was tired, man. He said, and when he got into the fight, he said he pushed as hard as he could. He said, and everything happened for a reason. But he said he did. There's nothing else he feels that he could have done in that fight. Now, I'm going to tell you this. He fought hard. He left it all in the ring. I think he left it all in the ring. But he fought stupidly. Okay? So he's correct by saying he left it all in the ring. I think we'd all agree. He did what Kambosos allowed him to do. But he fought a stupid fight. See? And that's where he's going to have problems going forward if he doesn't make that change, which I think he will. But we know he's not going to leave his dad. He's not going to leave, and I don't think he should. Boxing is short, man. There's a short lifespan on that. So stay with your pops, man. But y'all got to be they have to be real with themselves about what happened that night, okay? The dad was the problem. The dad was the problem. Go in there and kick his ass. That's what he was telling him. And Teofimo's, you can watch in some of those rounds, he's looking at him like, that's easier said than done. Look at his face is getting banged up, he's bleeding. You're telling him to go on, like you can't understand why he's not winning. Well, you should be working with him, correcting him, tell him the adjustments he needs to make. But you're just telling him go out there and kick his butt. Well, that's not working, Pops. What's next? No plan B, C, or D, E, F, nothing. Just let those belts go, and that's what happened. So he's also saying that a lot of people wanted to push him to the side so Devin Haney can become undisputed. And he said this months ago, and I did a video on it. And he's still saying it again, that somehow he feels that it was a conspiracy, that fight between him and Kambosos, for him to take a loss so Devin Haney can go and become undisputed. Don't get me wrong, a lot of things happen in boxing. But that's not what happened on that night. He just got his ass whipped. Okay, so end the story. But we all know since they fought, Haney has gone on, fought Kambosos. I gave Kambosos a good chance to win that fight, but he obviously wasn't ready for what Haney was bringing to the table. And Haney shut him down. But one thing about Haney against Kambosos is Haney against Kambosos was all one-sided. Lopez didn't have that level of success against Kambosos that Haney had. Conversely, Kambosos didn't have the level of success against Haney that he had against Lopez. So at the end of the day, styles make fights. And Haney just has the style that's going to give, a lot of people problems. While he's young, while he has that speed, he has those reflexes, he has those legs, Haney's a problem for anybody. And he's real long. But as Haney gets older and those legs go, kind of like what we're seeing with Erislandy Lara, and what we see with a lot of these other great boxers like Amir Khans, and there's so many, man. I'm not even going to try to call off a bunch of names. But when those legs go, man, sometimes they're sitting ducks. You know, that athleticism takes them a long way. But when your legs go, you're in trouble. But right now, Devin Haney's not going to be in any trouble anytime soon. Anyone he fights, you almost got to favor Haney because just his ability to find a way to win. But at the end of the day, Teofimo's returning. We'll see if, like he says, the takeover is going to continue. I think he's in a very difficult fight. He should win. I do believe he was killing himself to get down to 140, but to 135. But at 140, he should feel a lot better. And the way things play out is just kind of is what it is sometimes in boxing. And the thing about Teofimo, it is what it is that he's with his dad. It is what it is that his dad can be a bit delusional. It is what it is that his dad maybe deep down has the best interest for his son, but isn't making the best decisions, isn't giving him the best advice, isn't the best person for his son to really get to the next level with a fully focused, 100% healthy and committed fighter or opponent. When Lopez fought Lomachenko, gotta give him the credit for the win. Okay, so I want to make sure I say that. He gets full credit for the win. He deserves all the praise in the world. But I'm not sure he had 100% focused, committed, and healthy Lomachenko in front of him. All right? Because when Lomachenko decided to turn up the heat, Lopez had no answers. But he fought back. He fought back. He didn't let the rounds just go. He fought back. He met fire with fire. But when Lomachenko turned up the heat, Lomachenko was easily winning those rounds. So it's just got to call it for what it is. But Teofimo did fight back. He did fight back. But I'm not sure his dad is the guy to help his son get through a situation where the person's 100% healthy and focused and really shows up to win. Because Kambosos was a fight Teofimo should have won, but he got in there with somebody who was 100% in all areas that night, and stars lined up for Kambosos. But I'm going to tell you right now, people need to tune in on August 13th to see what Mr. Lopez is going to do in his return. I am optimistic because he's a great fighter. But I'm really, what I'm going to be paying attention to is his dad. His dad, what's his dad saying? How's his dad acting? That's what I'm going to be paying attention to. Because I think if for some reason things don't work out for him in this fight, he's going to have to make a decision. And, excuse me. And see about, kind of moving away or bringing somebody else into the camp. Not leaving his dad, but bringing someone else on and kind of having his dad maybe take a little bit of a back seat and let somebody else come in and a different set of eyes, different vision, and help him. Because when he's saying he doesn't have a problem with the world thinking he's delusional because he feels that he was the champ, and for a competitor to come into the ring with the champ, they need to definitively defeat the champ, and he doesn't feel that's what happened in the fight with him and Kambosos. And this is where a father needs to sit there, man, and tell his son, like, yo, you lost. If you've been on this channel for a while, I have 4 sons. And I'm not going to sit there and lie to them about anything, man, especially if they're not performing to their potential or they just happen to lose, especially if it's boxing or whatever it is. Playing 21 basketball, playing horse in the AAU games. I'll tell them, man, the other guy was just at this moment in time, right? He was better. That team was better. It doesn't mean that they're better than you, but when it comes to sports, especially in boxing, the best boxer doesn't win the fight. It's the boxer who fights the best. And on that night, that's what Teofimo Lopez's dad needs to tell him. Kambosos fought the best that night. But no, he's not a better boxer than you. Okay? And if I hear that from Teofimo Lopez, I'll feel more at ease about him. But right now, we're not hearing that. But we'll see how things play out on the 13th. Because you're either going to find a way to win or you're going to find a way to lose. And right now, it sounds like to me, he's going to keep finding ways to make excuses about his losses, which in turn is going to make him feel like he's finding ways to win. And that's just not going to be good for him and the longevity of his career. Got to be real with yourself, especially. That's the only way you can get better. But I'll leave it as that, man. That being said, like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Shout out to the veterans. And as always, I'm in the breeze.